third in defense in the whole league, the third ranked team. But, in saying all this, I actually believe that Wisconsin has a shot at winning this thing, and it's because of the matchups and the metrics. Okay. The Badgers match up very well against the Wolverines. Michigan has a high motion offense that they leverage the dribble drive a lot, actually. And, they move, set screens, just constantly fast pace. And Wisconsin runs a pack line defense that doesn't try to, jump out in the perimeter, go for steals. They just hold back, one guy on the ball. And, it's kind of like the don't risk, but make the other team force them to take long shots, right? So you're going to have those speedy guys like Simpson, Poole, and Matthews. They're going to be forced to play around the perimeter, just running around there, taking 20-foot jump shots. And if you look at Michigan's three-point percentage, they only rank 69th in the whole league. For a top 5 team like Michigan is, ranking 69th in three-point percentage is, it shows a little bit of a weakness. So playing the pack line defense is kind of perfect for Wisconsin to be able to stop this Michigan team. Wisconsin, like I said, has a good defense, but their weakness, like I said, is definitely the big guys down low. But Michigan doesn't have a big man game, down low. They have John Teskey, and he's a huge guy, 7'1" center, but he's he's going to be pretty well defended with Happ down there, and Iverson will come off. Thomas, Ravers, they're going to defend him well, and it's not like this guy is Mo Wagner, okay? So Michigan doesn't really have that answer against Ethan Happ, and I don't think that John Teskey is that used to guarding Ethan Happ, and that's where Happ is the big advantage here. Happ, the guy, he's the most wiry center I've ever seen play. He comes up with reverse layups standing on the opposite side of the paint, it feels like. I don't know how he does it. He just plays the blackboard, plays his leverage. Guy's just amazing by the rim. Can't shoot free throws worth a damn, but he can ball by the rim like I've never seen. A lot of little spin moves, fakes. The guy, Happ's got it all when it comes to that. I wish he had a jump shot and I wish he had a free throw, but for college, he's a very dominant center, and I don't think Michigan's going to have the answer to that. Wisconsin ranks 10th hardest schedule in the nation, okay? 10th. So they've had a pretty hard schedule so far. Michigan ranks only 96th, right? They did play North Carolina. We're starting to find out North Carolina isn't that great yet. And if you look at who Michigan played in the Big Ten, their best game was Purdue, and that was played early, late November / early December, and they played kind of the easier teams in the Big Ten. Now, if you look at straight raw numbers in this game, straight up algorithm, I have this game at a pick 'em at 62-62 pretty much, right? But looking at last year, these teams, they're not that different from what they were last year. Wisconsin's probably gotten a little better because they got Trice back from injury. He was out. They got King back from it. They didn't really lose any production. Everybody returned for Wisconsin. And, Michigan, like I said, lost Abdur Rahman and Mo Wagner. And, they got a couple other good guys filling in there. But these teams are pretty much the same, with Wisconsin improving. Last year, these guys played, and they played at the Kohl Center. Michigan won 83-72. Okay, 83-72. They played a little bit faster than they do against other teams, and not sure what the reason that is, but there was definitely a higher pace in that game. As a matter of fact, when I look at Wisconsin, I feel like when they step up in competition offensively, they will pick up the pace. They're not the 10 years ago Wisconsin that would beat teams 56-50. This Wisconsin team can score some points, especially with Hap down low. And when I talk about the mismatches, like I did, Wisconsin, if they can get hot at the 3-point line, they can definitely win this game. But I also think I'm going to be taking the over here because this game's going to be close. And I think, Michigan on the road is not going to be able to play quite as good defense. Wisconsin's dying for a win here. I'm going to take the over 125, and I definitely lean Wisconsin, and I might be taking them on the points and the money line. So the play right now is the over. Really quick, Oakland versus Detroit. This is a quick trend play I want to throw at you. Detroit is 6-1 against the spread at home, while Oakland is 4-5 against the spread at home. Long travel spot for Oakland. If the spread is about 5 points, I'll be looking to take Detroit. Pittsburgh versus Syracuse. Syracuse should be favored by about 7, and I bet that thing goes up from what everybody saw when Syracuse beat Duke on Monday, and the over-under is about 129. This is a total letdown spot for Syracuse. I know they're at home, but this is letdown city. Syracuse beat Duke. It was overtime, and they shot out of their minds, right? Well, I also think that the Orange played, a perfect game. And Duke, they were not shooting exactly how they should be. And I think there's some worry there. Zion Williamson came back with an eye injury, but he was able to play the game. But what really sucked for Duke is Trey Jones is out, and he hurt his shoulder, and it's not looking good. They said it was separated. He can be out a long time, maybe a month or two. I think he'd be back for the tournament, but or for the conference tournaments. But right now, college doesn't have to report like pros. He's going to be out for a while. He's definitely a key player to Duke. I'm going to look up his numbers now. And I think he was a 4th best scorer. Trey Jones, he averaged 8.1 points per game, 29.3 minutes per game. Okay. He played a ton. 5.7 assists per game. That's a big loss for them. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, Syracuse, they took advantage of Trey Jones' injury. They were able to win this game, and it was huge for them. But if you look all year, Syracuse, they shot better than what they rank. Syracuse ranks 247th in the nation in field goal percentage, okay? And so that's pretty bad. And Pittsburgh, the team they're playing, ranks 142. Syracuse also doesn't normally hit 44% from 3 like they did against Duke. They hit about 31% throughout the year. I'm looking for the letdown spot here. I must say about Pittsburgh, I really like what they've been doing lately. They lost to North Carolina 85-60. But after that game, they beat Louisville at home in overtime. They went to NC State, came back and only lost that game by 6 points. And then they go play Florida State at home and beat Florida State by about 13 points there, So you got to give massive credit here to what Pittsburgh has been doing. And so I think in this spot, Pittsburgh has improved. Syracuse is going to go back to normal. Syracuse is a slow game. Take the dog, plus 8 points, whatever it is. Like it down to plus 5. And don't forget to sprinkle that money line. I wanted to get into the NC State game a little bit, but they also have a guy injured, and I was going to be on them because they shot so bad. their last game against Wake Forest. I believe or against Pittsburgh. It looks like Markel Johnson's back is hurting, so I cannot play that game just yet. But, that's another possible team. If Markel's going to be back, I would definitely consider being on NC State that game. It's at Notre Dame is what they're playing. I didn't mention that. So was looking at that one. And obviously Duke with the injuries. Cam Reddish is now he's sick. Trey Jones is out. You can't play Duke against Virginia. You just can't, even though it's a perfect get back up spot for them. I'd be very scared to play Duke there, and I'd be possibly looking at the over. I set the over under at about 140 on that game. All right, it's time to move into
the Sharp Side of the Force.
Sharp Side of the Force is brought to you by uwager.eu. For a 50% bonus, please visit uwager and use the promo code TheOddsBreakers. All right, let's look at the NFL here. Not a lot left, and there will be sharp action reports from us for the NCAA, but they won't come out until Saturday. And once in a while, you get one sprinkled in during the week. But it's going to be a published article on the oddsbreakers.com. So if you don't subscribe to a newsletter, please do. And if you ever want some sharp action on a game that you're looking to bet, please tweet us. Just tweet us at the Oddsbreakers. We're happy to break a game down for you, or run it through the algorithm, or whatever you want. So we'd love to hear from you. Maybe we can help you get on the right side of one of the games that you want to play. All right, LA versus New Orleans. Man, I tell you, these games are pretty close when it comes to ticket counts and money. So just remember that. Not a ton of value taking, trying to follow where the money is going, because it's been a little bit up and down. The Saints, I guess there's been money coming in the Rams, and the Rams, it went down to +3 at +100, and then some money came back on the Saints -3, -120. So right now, 44% of the bets are on the Saints, but 49% of the money is on the Saints. So a slight sharp side on the Saints, but yeah, it's so hard to tell. I mean, you gotta understand, these numbers are some pretty good numbers. New England versus Kansas City. 45% of the tickets are on New England, but 48% of the money is on New England. So New England, a slight sharp side. But, now you're looking at Kansas City here, and it looks like a -3 at -115. So that thing's been creeping back up a little bit too. It was probably at 55-45 a day or two ago. Now it's at 55-52. So, there you go. If you look at the totals, you got some sharp action on the over of LA at New Orleans. It was at 55% of the tickets are on on the over, and 71% of the money is actually on the over. So people like the over in the dome, but if you look at the Kansas City New England game, 52% of the tickets are on the under, and 56% of the money is on the under. So a slight money advantage to Kansas City. Kansas City, Arrowhead, it's outside. More chance of, missing a field goal. And if there's any gusts of wind there, it's going to be 15, 20 degrees or so at game time. So, that's why you see the action. One's in the dome, one's not. All of these offenses are very high powered. New England's got a bad road record. Well, there you go. What's going to happen? My picks have not changed. I'm still taking New Orleans. I like KC on the money line, and I still like Kansas City, New England under. If you have any questions, please tweet us at the Oddsbreakers. We're going to have a few guests next week to talk about the Super Bowl and to talk more about some college basketball plays. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Go get some winners.